Finding your inner voice. Dear friend, I invite you to pause, not to give up, but to breathe, to listen to what you have long forgotten. You may be sitting in a room filled with light, or in a quiet room, like a heart waiting to be called by name. Wherever you are, I want you to know you no longer need to strain yourself. You don't need to become someone else. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to understand everything. Just breathe with me for a moment. Inhale, exhale, slowly, gently, deeply. Dear friend, I know. How many times have you tried to listen to the voices outside the voices of social media, of others, of the shoulds and musts, and each time you drifted a little further from yourself? I know you've doubted. What is my true inner voice? Does it still exist? Does it matter? Can I trust it anymore? And if today you come here with a confused heart, with tired ears, with hesitant eyes, I want to tell you this: you are still here. Your true voice has never been lost. It's only waiting for you to pause long enough to hear it again. Not with your ears, but with your heart, with your breath, with the full presence of you within you. Imagine inside you is a windless room. All the windows are closed. Outside, there's noise and dust. But in that room, there's a chair and a candle. The light is still there, very small, but never extinguished. And you are approaching that candle with the gentle breath you carry right now. Inhale, exhale. There's no need to rush. You are returning. You are held in a sacred space where no one demands you answer anything. Just be here. Listen gently, truly. You don't need to go far to find your voice. You only need to pause, and listen. I am returning. I don't need to do anything more to be worthy of myself. I allow my inner voice to speak. Dear friend, now that you have paused, listened with your heart, let us step deeper together into the quiet within, where you will embrace silence like an old friend. Dear friend, now that you have paused, touched your own breath gently, let me walk with you one step deeper into the place where everything begins silence. Not emptiness, not loneliness, but a sacred silence where your soul can breathe, where your heart can speak, where no one asks you to be anything other than you. Can you hear it? That silence isn't cold. It's gentle, like a soft touch. It soothes, like a mother's whisper when you were small. It doesn't demand answers. It only asks you to be present. Imagine you're stepping into a hidden garden. No one else is there but you. It's late afternoon. A gentle breeze stirs the leaves. A soft pink sky embraces you from all sides. And at the center of this garden is a circle of white stones. Within it, a small pool of water, still as a mirror. You approach, you sit down, you do nothing, you just be, and you breathe. Inhale, exhale, not trying, not to meditate correctly, just to be with yourself. Dear friend, sometimes we fear silence, because it might stir things we're not ready to face. But I want you to know, silence is not your enemy. Silence is a mother's embrace, holding you when words fail. Silence is the gateway that allows your true voice to return. For when all noise fades, what remains is you. Not the you that learned from the world, but the you that always was, before the world told you who you should be. Stay here for a moment. No rush, no need to find answers. We're not here to understand with the mind. We're listening with the heart. And sometimes, in silence, we hear more clearly than ever. You can place your hand on your heart now. No words needed. Just feel the life pulsing gently beneath your hand. And whisper to yourself, I allow silence to embrace me. I am safe in this stillness. I am the sacred space where my inner voice can return. Dear friend, in that gentle silence, something is slowly emerging. Something you once knew but forgot. A voice, soft, honest, full of love. And in the next part, we will recognize that voice, your true voice. Dear friend, now as you sit in that gentle silence, let me whisper something. Your inner voice has never gone away. It hasn't been silenced. It's just so soft, so delicate, so different from the noisy world out there. It doesn't argue. It doesn't shout. It simply waits with a patience more gentle than anything you've ever known. Dear friend, imagine you're sitting by the pool in that garden. The water is still, like a mirror, and as you lean forward, you begin to see something. Not the reflection of the face you see in the mirror every day, not the polished or adjusted version, but the eyes of someone who once was you and still is you. The you from long ago, the you unjudged, unmasked, unprogrammed, the real you. The you who knew what you wanted. The you who dared to say no, dared to say yes, dared to breathe and live your own way. You might feel a tear fall as you realize that voice is still here. It once said, I'm tired, but you ignored it for the sake of your schedule. It once whispered, don't do that, it's not you, but you were afraid of disappointing others. It once rejoiced, this is my dream, but you were drowned out by someone's mocking laughter. And then you fell silent, not because you were weak, but because you forgot that. That voice is sacred. Today, I'm here to remind you, you don't need permission to be yourself. You don't need anyone else to validate that your inner voice is reasonable, legitimate, or timely. Your inner voice is the truth, and the truth doesn't need approval. It only needs to be heard. Dear friend, place your hand on your chest. Feel the warmth. And if you wish, ask little one, what do you want to tell me today? Don't force an answer. Don't try. Just listen, and you'll feel something. Maybe a word, maybe a feeling, maybe an image. Let it spread through your body like a small stream of light, warm, true, and yours. I recognize my true inner voice. I allow it to return, gently, clearly, and full of love. Dear friend, now that you have recognized that voice, stay with it. For in the next part, we will face what once silenced you, the inner voice of judgment. Dear friend, now, as you have felt your true voice, as you've begun to hear the small but very real whispers in your heart, let me walk with you to a deeper place, a place you may have kept closed, and the place that holds judgments, not from others, but from yourself. I know there are voices in your head that have repeated for years, so stupid, Why am I so weak? I'm not good enough. My voice isn't worth hearing. Even if I speak, no one will listen. Those words weren't born with you. They don't come from your soul. They come from the past, from disapproving glances, from childhood scoldings, from times you were interrupted, from moments you spoke your heart and were hurt for it. And so, you learned to stay silent to survive. You hid your voice to be accepted. You wore the mask of good, obedient, reasonable at the cost of your inner truth. Dear friend, there is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You are not lacking. You are only carrying the scratches of silence in your heart. And today, you can begin to heal them, too. You don't need to shout back at the judgments. You don't need to force positivity. Just look at them and embrace them as a part of you, a part that was hurt, misunderstood, afraid. Imagine you're sitting before a large mirror. The mirror doesn't reflect your face, but the words you've said to yourself. You read each one. I'm stupid. I can't do anything. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm so shameful. Then you place your hand on your chest and say, dear little one, I'm sorry for ever saying those words to you. I learned them from others, but from today, I will learn to speak to you with love. Dear friend, you may not be used to speaking to yourself with kindness, but you can start today with a simple sentence, I deserve to speak to myself with love. You can say this every morning before the mirror. Each time you hear the old critical voice, place your hand on your heart and whisper, that's the old voice, the voice of fear. Now, I choose love. I am healing the way I speak to myself. I forgive the voices that once silenced me. I choose to speak to myself with light and love. Dear friend, when you embrace the part of you that judged itself, something miraculous happens. The little child within you, the innocent, honest, purely lovable part, begins to open the door and step out. And in the next part, we will welcome that child, the keeper of your truest inner voice. Dear friend, as you soften, as you look at the words that once silenced you and gently set down the burden of judgment, something miraculous begins to happen. The little child within you, the one long forgotten, is now waiting to be embraced. Close your eyes. Imagine you're stepping into a warm room. There's a soft golden light, like early morning sun. The room is calm, safe. In the corner is a child, silent, hugging their knees. Their eyes hold caution, but also a deep hope. That child is you when you were young, when you spoke everything you thought, when you believed every emotion deserved to be expressed, when you dared to shout, cry loudly, and say what you needed. Until one day someone said, be quiet. You talk too much. Don't be so sensitive. That's not your business. And the little child began to shrink, to quiet, to disappear. Dear friend, that child never left. They're only waiting for you to return, to hold them close and whisper, I've missed you so much. I'm ready to listen to you now. Step toward them. No rush, no trying to change them. Just sit down, gently. Hold out your hand and wait for them to take it. You might cry. Your heart might tremble. But in that moment, as you hold that child close, the entire universe within you will soften, because you're embracing the truest part of yourself, the part that's been waiting, not to be taught, but to be heard. Now you can whisper, "Dear little one." You can say anything you want. I'm no longer afraid of your truth. You deserve to be heard, loved, and to live as yourself. Let that image sink deep into your heart. Remember the feeling when the child begins to smile, when they rest their head on your chest, and your heartbeat blends with theirs. You are embracing the purest voice within you. And once you do, everything else begins to heal. I embrace the little child within me. I listen to their voice with all my love. I am healing with the gentlest embrace, my own. Dear friend, now that you've embraced the child within, you've touched the most sacred part. And in the next part, we will learn to trust that voice, to let it become the gentlest guide in your life. Dear friend, when you've embraced the child within, when you've listened to the true, soft, and sincere voice from your heart, it's time to take a gentle but powerful step to trust that voice. Not just listen, but trust. Dear friend, over the years, you may have noticed each time you ignored your intuition, even if logic won, your heart knew you'd lost your way. And each time, your inner voice retreated a little further, like a child ignored while saying something important, until you forgot how to feel. You began looking outside books, videos, others' opinions, and that's not wrong. But dear friend, all the answers have been within you for a long time. Imagine, in your chest, there's a pool of clear water. Each time you act in alignment with your soul, the water sparkles. But each time you move out of fear, force, or to please others, it clouds, stills. Intuition doesn't shout. It doesn't need reasons. It doesn't need time to persuade. It only needs you to be still enough to trust. Today, I invite you to do something gentle when faced with a choice. Instead of asking, "What's right?" ask, "What makes my heart feel lighter? What makes me feel true?" Even just a little. And then, trust the first answer. Not because it has evidence, but because it's you in the form of a feeling. You can practice this trust every day. When you eat, choose what makes your body sigh with relief. When you speak, say what soothes your throat. When you decide, choose what expands your chest. You don't need to be right. You need to be true. And what's true always nourishes your soul. Dear friend, trusting your inner voice isn't a lesson, but a return to yourself, to the ancient wisdom within you, the clarity that existed before you could express it in words. I trust my intuition. I listen, and I trust what I feel. My inner voice is my gentlest compass, and I am guided by love. Dear friend, now that you trust that voice, something miraculous begins. The light within you grows, not loudly, but clearly. In the next part, we will return to that light, your light. Dear friend, now that you've listened, embraced the child within, and begun to trust your intuition, we come to a deep, sacred moment, the moment of returning to the light within you. Not a light from outside, not from success, praise, or others' admiring gazes, but a gentle light. When you close your eyes and still know I am light, I am peace, I am love. Dear friend, imagine in your chest, just behind your sternum, a small candle. That candle never goes out. It may dim, covered by fear, busyness, judgments, but it always burns. And today, you're rekindling that candle with your presence. Inhale, exhale. Feel that light growing, spreading to your chest, shoulders, neck, hands, flowing to your belly, hips, legs, and rising to your face. Not blinding, not rushed, just a gentle spread, like a sunrise that never asks if it's worthy to rise. It simply rises because it is light. Dear friend, there were times you thought you had to earn this light, had to be right, had to be perfect, had to become someone. But the light within you never demanded that. It has no conditions, no schedule, no expectations. It only needs you to return and realize it never left. You can start a gentle habit each day in the morning. As you wake, place your hand on your heart and whisper, "I greet the light within me." Today, I live from that place. You don't need to do anything grand. Just send a message from your heart. Say a kind word to yourself. Choose truth over pleasing others. Pause midday to breathe deeply. That is living from your light. You don't need to shine for anyone. You only need to be in your own light. And then those who are lost will look at you as a reminder. They, too, have that light in their hearts. Dear friend, you are not a body that speaks. You are light that breathes, that loves, that remembers, that heals. Affirmation: I am light, living in human form. I don't need to try to be myself. I return to the light within me, and I am guided by love. Dear friend, with that light in your heart, you no longer need to hide in meditation or retreat from life to stay safe. Now is the time to step back into the world, carrying that voice as a forever companion. Dear friend, we've journeyed together through a gentle and profound path, from when you paused to listen, to be silent, to remember the true voice within you, to embracing the child long forgotten, and rekindling the gentle candle in your heart. Now, it's no longer time to hide within, but to step out not as a new person, but as you, true, free, and soft. Dear friend, walking with an open heart doesn't mean you must always be strong. It doesn't mean you won't hurt. It doesn't mean you'll always know the answers. It only means you're willing to listen to yourself before others. You allow yourself to pause before reacting. You honor your inner emotions, like a dear friend needing a hug, not a problem to fix. You choose to live from the inside out, instead of from expectations outward, then forcing them inward. Today, you can start living with that voice in small ways. When you're about to say yes to something your heart says no to, place your hand on your chest and ask, "Is this my truth?" When you're tempted to scroll your phone to escape your emotions, breathe deeply and say, "I don't need to run from myself. I am safe to stay." When you're about to try harder to be loved by someone, whisper, "True love doesn't demand I lose my voice." Dear friend, walk with an open heart, not to become better, but to be you truer, not to shine for others to see, but to live in the light that is yours. When you walk with your inner truth, every step becomes an affirmation. Every choice, a door to return, and every day lived a quiet miracle. If one day you feel lost again, remember that voice is still there. Silence doesn't mean absence, and you don't need to start over. You only need to return with a breath, a touch to your heart, a gentle reminder, little one, I'm still here. Final third affirmation. I walk with an open heart. I live from the true voice within me. I am love, and I live as love. Dear friend, thank you for allowing me to walk with you on this journey. I believe in you. I believe in the light you carry. And I believe you will continue to listen and live from that sacred place within you. You have returned, and from now on, everything you say will carry the sound of true love.